Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update.
All right, hi everybody. We've got an emergency edition of the Oklahoma Zone Sports Pod. Toby and Chris with you on a Friday. It is right now just before the big winter weather rolls in, but a major announcement has just dropped around noontime. The next athletic director at the University of Oklahoma has been apparently decided upon. It's going to be Roger Denny. Sources have told us Roger Denny, the deputy AD currently at the University of Illinois, will be the new athletic director at the University of Oklahoma. A formal announcement is expected to be made by OU some point mid next week, maybe Wednesday. We'll see if this news breaking perhaps pushes that announcement up a little bit. But Chris, Roger Denny, a name that I'm not sure was on anybody's radar until today. What do you think?
Yeah, if they wanted to keep it under wraps, then they did a good job there. I'm a little surprised. I know that they said that they weren't going to have to do OU connection or anything like that, but you would think there would be something along the way of connection with Roger Denny, and that's not his background. Toby, his background's a little interesting. I don't know. He was like a law partner for 15 years doing legal stuff. Maybe you know a little more about what that entailed, how that ties over to athletics.
Heavy legal background, that's right. He has only been at Illinois for 3 or 4 years, kind of their number 2 in command, and has been credited with doing a lot of really good things for them since he arrived. Getting some building projects started, heavily involved in their NIL push, all those kinds of things. But before that, he was in the world of law and has an extensive background. I'm told by one of the things that the decision makers liked most about him is that he has an extensive background in not only player, but also some coach contracts and negotiations and maybe even some sports agent type background there. So he has a unique history in that regard. And one person that I talked to that was right in the middle of the vetting process of Roger Denny said that they are very excited about the skill set that he brings to this job, considering kind of the current state of modern athletics. And that skill set being maneuvering your way through this world of NIL and how much legally is taking place right now out there. So not that old. I think I haven't looked up his age, but I want to say early 50s, late 40s perhaps for Roger Denny. But a guy that has an extensive legal background that I know they're excited about and considered an up-and-comer kind of in the AD world. If you're a little taken back that they didn't hire a current sitting AD, I was too, honestly. But if you think about the history of the University of Oklahoma, the biggest names in OU history when they were hired were either assistant coaches or very much off the radar. You know, Bob Stoops was a defensive coordinator at Florida. Barry Switzer was not a head coach. He was an offensive coordinator when Oklahoma hired him. Joe Castiglione was an athletic director, but not as well known certainly across the country. So they've kind of made a history of finding diamonds in the rough. And I'm wondering if they feel like through the lengthy process here of vetting multiple candidates for this job, if Oklahoma feels like they found a diamond in the rough here in Roger Denny.
Yeah, it was a big search committee with several former coaches on there, so they're looking at that. I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me, Toby, is it just shows you how quickly the college athletics landscape has shifted. And OU has been on a big push lately of being prepared for the future, right? Who do we get for the future, for where it's going, for what's happening next? And clearly that was their priority, and there's always a little bit of a gamble in that. But you can't necessarily get an old school skill set athletic director to fill a new school skill set position here. In a way, Toby, you look at, just like I look at some of these players they've been adding, and it's how fast they're rising. And Roger Denny joined their staff a few years ago, and then 2 or 3 years in was immediately promoted to the number 2 spot in the athletic department. And that article about him getting the deputy director job was just glowing about everything he's done. They called him the unsung hero. So, it's not the sexy resume of, look at this Power 4 school that I was the athletic director for, but there must be a lot there that he can show them. I oversaw this, you nailed some of them, but it sounds like they feel like he had a huge role in that department.
Yeah, I agree. We're all trying to learn as much as we can as quickly as possible about Roger Denny. I can tell you, he has been on campus the last several days. He's gone now, but the last several days on campus, walking around campus, staying near campus, and nobody knew who he was or had any idea that this guy was potentially here to be the next athletic director at the University of Oklahoma. He didn't need to be incognito because nobody knew who Roger Denny was at that point. Next time he comes to campus, that will not be the case. Next time it will be with a lot of pomp and circumstance, as he will take the very large shoes of Joe Castiglione and try to carry the OU athletic department forward. I wonder if there's more to this announcement. I don't know that at this point. We're obviously trying to follow this story and have been beating the bushes and trying to chase it down. And it feels like maybe there's some more to the announcement still to come, whether that's regarding the football operations or somebody else who may be involved here. Pure speculation on my part. But there is some curiosity out there as to whether there's maybe a second chapter to the story that is still yet to be uncovered. But for now, we know that it looks like Roger Denny is the new athletic director, or going to be, at the University of Oklahoma. How about the search? Kudos to Randall Stephenson on conducting one of the most secretive searches that I've ever seen. There were a lot of people involved in this. There were a lot of people on that committee and a lot of people involved in the vetting process, and you did not hear Roger Denny's name until today. And nor have you heard really anybody's name at all in who they were interested in. So they did a great job keeping things under wraps, and now we just got to continue to try to learn more about OU's next AD.
Yeah, with the way this university has been functioning lately, it feels like there's got to be more, like you said. Maybe not even more to the initial announcement, but maybe you get them in and you restructure and you create positions or this or that. It just feels like there's got to be more to it. You're right, Toby. That's the beauty of the pod, is that we can speculate. You're probably not going on the 6 o'clock news doing that, but
no, I just know that Randall Stephenson, former head of AT&T, president right now of the OU football program, who has been heading up this search, is extremely creative and knows a ton of people. And going right down the middle of the fairway with a hire seems like it's probably not going to. I don't know. It seems like the best way to put it is, it seems like maybe there's more to come. I have no proof of that. I'm not hinting at anything that I know that I'm just speculating on a podcast with Chris that maybe there's more to come in the future. But we'll continue to try to see if we can figure out what that is, and maybe not. Maybe this is the announcement, and Roger Denny is the next great superstar in the world of collegiate athletics. We certainly hope so.
Toby, what exactly?
I want to get on his good side early. So, Mr. Denny, if you're watching this, but please give me a call. I want to be the play-by-play voice for many, many years to come.
We'll put Toby's personal cell in the bio here on the video. So just, hey, Toby, so exactly, and maybe the timeline isn't exactly clear, but what is the Joe C moving aside Roger Denny? I mean, is he day one step on campus, or is it kind of still... Joe C's still going to be somewhat in there, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's quite like the passing of the baton. I don't know that has been worked out entirely. Okay. I think that it will happen fairly quickly because we are over 6 months past Joe's announcement.
Yeah.
So we're into 7 months. And so I think Joe is going to stay around in an emeritus role for a while. So I don't know that there's any rush here necessarily to, say, hey, we need you to start Wednesday. I think that Joe is perfectly comfortable running the show until Roger Denny gets acclimated and moved and whatever that may be. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, maybe it's the end of the academic year. I don't know. But they're in a unique situation here where they're not having to replace a fired athletic director or a vacant position. They have a very, very good one in place right now. I would think, though, that, any personnel moves that are going to be made going forward would be the new AD's responsibility. You know? If you're considering hirings or dismissals or changes or whatever that case may be, probably at the point of the announcement, whenever that is made next week, that probably becomes the new AD's call, I would guess. That's, again, speculation on my part. But and then Joe's going to be around. Again, it's very much like Bob Stoops hanging around Norman and has been such a vital sounding board. He's been able to step in when Lincoln Riley left and took over the football team. He has done everything from be on broadcast to just be at practice. So I think that's kind of what you're going to see from Joe Castiglione. I think if you're Roger Denny, you've got one of the best to ever do it. Yeah. In your backyard, at a moment's notice, maybe down the hall. We'll see how it all works. But a great sounding board in Joe Castiglione going forward. So we'll see. But I was all hunkered down expecting to build a snowman today. And here we are talking about OU's next athletic director.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. Well, stay safe out there, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know, Toby. I might have to take a few days off just to be safe. So
I think you can probably, as excited as David Payne and the people in the weather department are, I think you could probably take a few days off. All of us could in sports, and nobody would notice.
That's true.
Nobody would miss us. By the way, I'll go ahead and say this here, and we'll have it on, I'm sure, another format later, but I'm calling the game Saturday from right here in my office, the OU Missouri basketball game. The team, I think, has already left for Columbia and did so without the radio broadcast crew. So they, due to travel restrictions and concerns about getting there and back and everything, the radio crew did not travel with the team. So I will be hunkered down with all the rest of the Oklahomans, and we will be calling the game Saturday from the Roland Ranch.
Your wife and daughter, are they going to be like? I mean, they can't be excited about this. There's no way.
Nobody's here, Chris. My wife went to see baby Theo for the weekend. Oh, my daughter is house sitting for somebody else, and I was supposed to be out of town. So it's just me and my dogs that are here. Kevin Henry may come over. If Kevin Henry can make it to my house, he's going to come over and call the game with me. But yeah, I can be as loud as I want. Neighbors aren't going to care. That snow will diffuse the sound real well. Yeah. All right. Anything else we need to say about the AD search?
I mean, I think we're going to have more to say in the coming days, and obviously with the actual announcement when it comes out and stuff. It's interesting. Going to be doing a lot of Googling today on Roger Denny.
Yeah. Hopefully we get an opportunity to hear the thoughts of Randall Stephenson and President Harris and all those involved with making this decision, as well as how they arrived. So all that's coming up. Thank you for watching this edition of Oklahoma's Own Sports. Please like and subscribe. It means the world to us when you do, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's Own digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.